Let me guess.
Ladies and
Wrestling.
gentlemen, welcome to episode 38 of the Game Time Gents podcast. It is me, one of your co-hosts, Nardi, here as always with Fish and Zoltowski. Boys, say hello.
Second time's a charm. Hello.
Yeah, this is our third time doing this intro. And we do have a very special guest on the podcast today. He is the president of the Miles Teller, Coldplay, and John Walker from MCU Fan Club. And he's finally come on the show. His name is JimTasty, a.k.a. Brett. And we'll get into why he's called JimTasty here in a moment. But Zoltowski brought up the idea to, maybe flip the draft on it, or flip the episode on its head. So we're going to start with sports and gaming news, as we always do. Then we're going to get into the draft first, which is the best Nintendo exclusive titles. And then we're going to get into our interview with Mr. JimTasty here. So, boys, without further ado, we have some news.
Got a lot of news. A lot of NFL news.
A lot of NFL news. So the biggest piece of news is Brock Purdy got paid. Finally. So they didn't pay Debo. They were probably saving money for this transaction, but Brock Purdy got a $265 million extension for 5 years. Not bad for Mr. Irrelevant. Includes $53 million per year. $181 million guaranteed, and the biggest question floating around social media is he worth the money? Boys, what do you think?
I don't think so.
No.
I really don't. With the offensive weapons that he has, and honestly, the little dump pass you can give to McCaffrey and just have him tear it up like anyone that was with Carolina, I don't think that he's worth $265 million. Now, in hindsight, though, he is a better option than most of the other quarterbacks out there. So, I don't know. I don't think you throw in Russell Wilson or anybody like that or anything like that. I mean, he's young. He had that one good year. But again, it was a lot of quick slants. Debo, I think that year it's one of the tops for Yak. Most yards after catch and everything like that. He was breaking a lot of tackles when he was really in his prime. Now he's 30. Ayuk was incredible, and then obviously you could do a little dump pass McCaffrey. McCaffrey ran it most of the time, caught it out of the backfield as well, and then you had Jordan Mason and a few others. That kind of combined in there. Plus George Kittle when he was healthy. Honestly, I feel like you could throw in. I'm not saying a mediocre quarterback, but I mean you could throw in someone that's good. And kind of replicate that same effect. Plus, also on the defensive side, 49ers defense that year that they were really, really good, they went to the Super Bowl, was insane. So it is really nice when, you go 3 and out, but then your defense gets the ball back at the 10. You're like, oh, okay. Hey, McCaffrey, here you go. So it might be a hot take. I just don't think that he's worth that much, but we've seen the inflation of all these big contracts every year after year, the last 5-6 years, that threshold increases. It's just, okay, is this guy worth it? Okay, well, the guy that is worth it now has to get $300 million, and then vice versa. So I at the end of the day, I don't think he's worth the $265. I really don't. But good for him though. Great. I would love to have that, just percentage of it, but I don't think he's worth it.
Yeah. So many cards.
Each one of these contracts that comes out, it keeps making me think like, man, the Chiefs really got a steal when they signed Patrick to 10 years, $500 million. Like, they got a steal for that guy because Mahomes is so much better of a quarterback than Brock Purdy.
Oh, 1,000%, and he has been, right? And everybody, especially when the contract came out, they're like, holy shit, $500 million for 10 years? Are you guys kidding me? And now we see these young guys that, Gent, I mean, he is supposed to be really good, but Zoltowski, we talked about this the other day. Yep. He's the second highest paid running back behind Saquon Barkley, who has not played a down in the NFL.
Nope, not one single down.
So I mean, you see a lot of these guys where they pop off that one season, that contract season, they do really well, force fed the ball, whatever it may be, and all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna go ahead and throw you 3 years for $150 million. You're like, why, brother? He's been asked the last 4 years. Why are we throwing him a contract now? So it all goes back to like the whole Timothy Mozgov thing in the NBA when those big, massive contracts would come out. He had that one good season. He was a big physical body in the paint. And all of a sudden it was 4 years, like 120, 160 million or something like that. Something wild. Like, that's Timothy Mozgov. 5% of the people know who that guy is. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and pay him. Makes sense.
I think he was making like $187,000 per rebound.
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
So good for him.
A lot of money. No, I agree with Fish. I don't think he's worth that, but you look at the quarterback market and he knows the system. I think that's a big reason he was able to argue for that much money. But last year I know they were hurt, had a lot of injury troubles. He didn't work with what he had. You look at a good quarterback, they're gonna you look at Josh Allen. We talked about this, and I know they're different styles of quarterbacks. He had really nobody, and he made it work. And the Bills were great. That's a contract for a Josh Allen or a Patty Mahomes, not a Brock Purdy. You don't get $1 million for every pick that came before you.
Yeah, I think the Shanahan system is so player friendly when it comes to like quarterbacks and running backs both, that you could just kind of plug and play. I mean, Josh Dobbs had success there. Sam Darnold had a little bit of success there. Nick Mullen had success there. So yeah, it's like you can just plug these guys in and play. Now, I get why they feel like they had to pay Brock that much just because of the story, but I kind of agree with you guys. I think he could be a little bit overpaid. So,
well, look at their offensive weapons too. I mean, they had Debo lining up the backfield with McCaffrey. You look at the Lions, you look at the Eagles, and you got it's not so it's like Seattle, right? They had DK, and that was it before Jackson got there, right? Okay, so we'll just double DK, and then we'll just load the box for Walker. You can't do that with the 49ers. 49ers have way too many weapons, and then they were interchanging people in the backfield. You're like, okay, is Debo getting the ball, or is McCaffrey? Where did Jordan Mason come from? Why is that guy lined up on the outside?
Mitchell.
So, I mean, they had a lot of great success with using different players' utilities there and kind of broadening that scheme, which, again, back to your thing, I mean, it's very player-friendly. I mean, honestly, plug and play really anyone. I think, even throw Carson Wentz back there, or maybe even a Zach Will. I mean, if we're only throwing 15-yard passes, I mean, is it worth it? I mean, he was accurate deep, but I mean, how often? I don't know. It's just a big thing. Good for them. I mean, they locked him up, so I mean, they got rid of Debo. He was aging. They got a still young receiving core. Hopefully, Ayuk can come back from his knee injury. McCaffrey has a healthy season. He hasn't had one in 12 years. So
if not, they got two good backups over there.
I was gonna say Garindo looked good. He kind of screwed me in fantasy. The hell with that guy, but I mean, hopefully he comes out this year and does a little bit better.
I told you to pick him up.
But I don't know. That 49ers offense is just gonna have success regardless of who's back there, just because of the weapons that they have and scheme they got going on. So
definitely, yeah. The other piece of news we have NFL related is somewhat NFL adjacent, I guess. Antonio Brown got caught pulling a gun out on a crowd. He was at Aiden Ross's either boxing or MMA event. I'm not sure which one it was, but
boxing.
Was it boxing? Yeah.
Oh yeah, saw some clips. Not good.
He was jumped by multiple guys trying to snatch his chain. Shots were fired in the air to scare them off from Antonio Brown, and he was detained but ultimately let go. And apparently he showed up on Aiden's stream later and said, "I got CTE. I blacked out. I don't know what happened." So I'm just glad nobody died. So that's pretty much my analysis of that. I mean,
who's giving that guy a gun?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's a really good point.
There's tests and shit that we have to take to make sure that we're, if we're gonna carry, that we're like, with it still. I mean, he might be one of the last guys to be like, I don't know, maybe take another test or two.
I mean, didn't Aaron Hernandez, his autopsy showed that he had a very heavy diagnosis of CTE when he died?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it has effects. Maybe that's something.
There's been a lot of CTE-related crazy stuff that happen, not just in football.
I know which one you're talking about.
On the brighter side, though, I mean, kudos to him for just, desk popping up in the air and not just, mowing the crowd down.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Kudos to him. By the way, the boxing event, I just saw a clip of the Island Boys. Remember those guys? The Island Boys? Yeah, those jackasses. So I saw those guys, Man, I had to find it and send you guys a clip. They're slapping hands. It is rough looking. It is bad.
Send it on Discord.
Yeah, I'll make sure to do that. You got AIM still? AOL?
I think Brett's
Yeah, I
going to
can
be
hear
in the
the
next
dial-up.
one.
Did
I do have baseball news
Go for it.
on that though. MLB did release, obviously, with the passing of Pete Rose. They're like, oh, yeah, I guess we can go ahead and lift the ban now. I don't really see anything wrong with it. So now he is eligible for the Hall of Fame, right? Rightfully
And-
so. He didn't
Oh,
do
yeah.
anything wrong. He bet on himself, right? Bet on himself. He'll be a first ballot, no problem. The kicker, though, and for all you baseball fanatics out there, back in still what was the early 1900s, the White Sox were playing in the World Series. A guy named Shoeless Joe Jackson,
Yeah.
very very good ball player. The old heads would understand it. They have also lifted the ban on Shoeless Joe, and I have to do a little bit more research. I can't remember if it's just him or it's that entire lineup. So essentially, what happened was the reason why they were banned. They went to the World Series and were promised some type of money if they threw. They ended up throwing the World Series and getting all this money for throwing the World Series. MLB said, okay, yeah, obviously that's not right. They hit him with a lifetime ban that year. MLB has now lifted that. So possibly Shoeless Joe and the rest of them are possibly eligible for the Hall of Fame as well. I don't know if they'll necessarily get in because I think it was fairly early on in their career. So I don't think the stats or anything like that. If they do get in, it will be for the Black Sox scandal. But it's interesting to see, right? And this kind of opens up the realm of the steroid users, the steroid era. With A-Rod, Barry Bonds, breaking, the baseball home run record. He gets an asterisk for it. A lot of the old heads would be like, yeah, no, that's bullshit. We're not doing that. MLB's kind of taking a more modern stance on this, and if they're lifting the ban on Pete and now Shoeless Joe, I think, unfortunately, it's only a matter of time before they lift the ban on the Bondses, the Palmeiros, the A-Rods, and all these other guys that took the Mark McGuire's, the Sammy Sosa, that also took steroids back in the early 90s, early 2000s. I mean, they shattered all kinds of records, but really they get an asterisk with it. So it's just something kind of monitor over the next few years to see if it actually does lift. But it was interesting news that they lifted obviously the passing. They always do this. They lift the passing with Rose. They lift him up so he could get eligible. But then also Shoeless Joe and possibly other players as well.
It is the rest of the ones that were banned for the Black Sox. I just looked it up real quick. They are also lifted.
So it's just interesting to see, and I'm sure a lot of people, if anybody gets in, it's going to be up in arms about it. I know I will if Bonds gets in or anything like that. If he gets in, fine, but I need to see an asterisk on a lot of his records because early on in his career, he was more known for batting average, and stealing bases. He was a skinny guy, and then as you see over the years, he progressed. His shoe size grew an extra inch. His head actually got bigger. So. And then turn into a power hitter. So it's just something kind of monitors. Interesting to see what the MLB is doing. You figured to kind of keep that tradition of, okay, yeah, no cheating. And then now it kind of looks like they're going away from that. So just something to kind of keep an eye on for all you baseball people out there. So,
yep.
Yeah,
good call, Fish.
I'm not a baseball guy, so I had no idea about the whole scandal there. But
you're an Orioles fan, right?
No.
That's Liz. Liz is an Orioles fan.
Guardians.
Oh, that's right. He's a Ravens fan. I'm sorry. Yes. I figured Baltimore. I figured you'd be an Orioles fan too. My bad. That's my bad.
Yeah, it's just a joke that's never gonna stop, is it?
Never ever.
But no, I think partially the reason why those bans were probably lifted is because sports betting's so prominent now. I mean, you've got apps you can do it in every state, well, almost every state, but you guys know I like to throw some sports gambling down every once in a while.
Yeah, it's a lot of red there. A lot of red there.
There's some red. There's a little bit of green. Mostly red, but
the Black Sox, honestly, the lifting of their bans does still surprise me just because of they threw the game. It's not like what Pete Rose did.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more serious, but still, it's been
almost 100 years at least, right?
Over 100 years. 1919 World Series was what they fixed.
That's what it was.
So, I mean, good for them. That's awesome. They can't be enshrined until 2028, so they've still got a little bit of time to wait. Based on their
I feel like, yeah, I
current
think
rules.
Shoeless Joe's got a few more years. I think he should be fine.
Unbelievable. But it's interesting to see. 16 total players, by the way, were removed from the ban list.
Kind of wild, man. Different time.
Yep. And so, in some not sports news, but actually gaming news, we all had a chuckle about this before the show started, but Fortnite has gotten into some trouble. They added a AI Darth Vader using James Earl Jones's voice, where you can talk to through your mic, and apparently there was not many safeguards on that because he swore, he's said multiple slurs, threatened to kill someone in real life, said Pride Month was delusional, eliminated players for calling him daddy. I'm just reading a list right now, so just seems like a lot of, like, I don't know. They should have, like, banned words he couldn't have said at least. I don't know. What's your guys' thoughts on that?
So it's interesting that they didn't like have a lot of safeguards initially. I think they patched it after a few hours. And I think they're using Gemini, that AI tool by Google to feed information. Which is interesting that Epic didn't do it in-house. They outsourced that. But yeah, just, this is just going to be a thing more and more as time goes on and AI evolves, right? So it's, it's provided some humor, but, you got to test the limits, I guess.
Yeah. Sure, Nick A30 stayed far away from that thing for a while.
No, he had a video of it where he was trying to get him to swear. I didn't watch the whole thing. Which surprises me because he kept calling him not family friendly. He was like, "You're not friendly. You said you're not family friendly. So say a curse word. Say a curse word." Just because these other guys I saw were, they're piecing different words together that when you say them, fluidly, they sound like the wrong thing.
Gotcha.
Which I obviously won't say because inappropriate. I'll tell you guys after the show. But I mean, we've seen it with CGI in the movies. Rogue One, Grand Moff Tarkin, the actor, I can't remember his name. They used CGI. Carrie Fisher, they used her. Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian. It's all over. So eventually, we knew now that AI is becoming more and more prevalent. It'll be interesting to see what old roles come back, like what old characters, like, oh, they were dead, we can't do this. Well, now we can because we get permissions. We can generate their voice. Because I know that James Earl Jones' family was actually very excited about it. They were happy that that was going to be used because, he loved being Darth Vader. He was, was one of his favorite characters that he ever did. So like, now he can he can continue this, even though it's not really him, but, it still sounds like him.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's, you brought up a good point there that I didn't even think about that, like the deep fakes and stuff, like the de-aging as well. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens in movies going forward.
I have seen some wild AI TikToks lately. Like, just this, I don't understand what's happening. Like, a dog turned into a lady, and I'm just like, what did I just watch?
Yeah. Animorphs.
The woman she was like in a hospital bed holding her baby, and then she flips the baby, and it turns into a pizza. And I'm like, what?
And it does look realistic until, you're like,
something.
Baby's got 17 fingers. And...
something sticks out or distorts a little bit, but AI's
Baby's
got
not actually pizza.
The ones I've seen too, like the sports stars, starting from the beginning of their career or when they were young, going through their careers and showing them in like pictures and the transitions between it.
Yeah.
Those ones actually look like half decent, so that's kind of scary, honestly.
I'd love to see a Barry Bonds one.
Insert air pump here.
It definitely opens up the realm of possibilities, though. Think of,
it's advancing so quick too. It's
like another Stan Lee cameo. Like, how cool would that be?
Yeah.
Chadwick and all that, Black Panther. I mean, that was just crazy stuff. It really is.
It's the only reason I watched the Marvel movies was for Stan Lee.
Man, I wonder if they'd ever do that with Chadwick, because I feel like they had so much left. to talk
Yeah,
about.
100%.
Yeah,
I don't see why they wouldn't.
I think it's
As
just
long as long as it's done good, well.
Yeah.
I think if it's a shitty one, like we've seen some shitty, CGIs.
Yep.
If it's a good one, I think the public would be like, oh, okay, that's great. But
It-
I think it has to be like an emotional moment.
Yeah.
They kind of already like spoilers for the second Black Panther. They kind of already like got around that where he has like a
The
son.
son. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
Which that's
So
going to
they'll
be
just-
interesting how they do that too. Because is he just going to age really quick, or
I don't know. I mean, with
because that they picked a
Doomsday
young,
and-
young kid.
yeah,
that
I mean, with
situation.
Doomsday and Secret Wars,
That's true. I
He
never
could
saw
age-
Secret Wars, but
he could age 10 years in 2 seconds or something. Some time
Yeah.
portal. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see with that. But I mean, with the AI stuff, like it's gonna happen, and you just got to do it as ethically,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
in terms of getting the permission of the original actor or the state of the actor,
Mhm.
and then how you implement it has to be in a fun and safe way, right? Where no one's saying anything bad and going viral on
yeah,
TikTok.
like that's a good point too. The James Earl Jones thing, that was good because the family was behind it, but all this AI art out there and stuff, all the AI animation, that's
Yeah.
all sourced from something. Like somebody put their heart and soul into that stuff, and
So Studio Ghibli.
yes,
What is his name? But the creator of that and his
Mhm.
art style, he's extremely against AI, and people have been using AI to make that studio because it's very appealing.
art style.
It's a
Yeah.
great art style. I actually really like it. But he's vocally come on and said, hey, this is like, don't do this. This isn't fair to
it's
these
theft
artists.
at the end of the day. It's
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's exactly what it is. It's not even
Yeah,
an
this-
inspiration at that point.
Yep.
But I think we are going to move on to first the icebreaker question, and then we're going to move on to the draft. So since we're rearranging things a little bit, we're just trying to get a good flow here. But so the icebreaker question, this is what we like to ask everybody. Just a little custom icebreaker question. So Brett, you're a Nintendo
Mhm.
guy, big Nintendo guy.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
first, let's talk about your name. Let's get that one first. So, JimTasty. How did the name JimTasty come to be?
So, long story short, I got an Xbox. I had to make a gamer tag, and you have to pay to change your name. And so I didn't want to, all my friends in high school were like changing their names every month, right? With whatever clan thing they were in,
Right.
So I wanted to pick a name that stuck, and I asked my buddy, one of my best friends growing up, what I should make my name. And he said, you should pick, well, he gave me 2 options actually. Wookie Juice, that was my other name, candidate, or JimTasty. And JimTasty is a character from a sketch show called All That on Nickelodeon, which was
Yes.
basically like teen SNL.
Right.
And, growing up, that kind of humor was just totally my vibe. And so I just picked it, went with it. And then on and on, when any new platform came up and signed up for it, I just made my thing JimTasty. And so when I decided to stream, that was just what I went with, because it's been my gamer tag for almost 20 years now. So
Just ran with it. That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember all that. That was a hell of a show back in the day.
Yeah, Keenan Thompson, who's on SNL, who's been
One
on
of the
SNL for
longest running members. Yeah.
yeah. So they had a lot of good talent there, man.
Mhm.
Yeah. But the icebreaker question is: you've taken a job at Nintendo. You can see Brett's background. He's a big Nintendo guy. You get the task to create the roster of the next Smash Brothers title. You have the ability to add any video game character from any IP. Who are you adding, and what would be their signature move?
Okay.
So you know how like Brawl had the signature moves. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I instantly, as soon as I saw this, I came up with 2, and I did it all within the realm of it being realistic. So for me, no Sony character will ever be on a Smash Bros. Game, right? Because
Right.
Sony just wants their IP on their stuff. Makes sense. So I came with 2 candidates based on pre-existing relationships. I picked Master Chief from Halo from Xbox. And then I picked an in-house IP. I picked Paper Mario, just because Paper Mario can do all sorts of crazy folded stuff that's unique to that design and art style that could get really creative. With Master Chief, with his like final smash, there was like a bunch of different things that I came up with. Like he kicks like that bomb in Halo 2 and it just blows up, huge explosion on the map, right? That's pretty simple. Or I came up with kind of like, I think it's like Solid Snake's final smash, where he gets that rocket launcher and shoots people. I was thinking like you just get like the Spanker rocket launcher in the game, and you get like, what is it, 2 shots, 3 shots, and does a ton of damage, and you have to still kind of use your skill to aim. And then for Paper Mario, if you played any of the games, you get these like in the first game you get the Star Spirits, and they have crazy powers. So it could be one of the moves from that game, or like the Crystal Stars in the second game. Bunch of crazy
ones.
Yeah, like the Shockwave, Ground Pound.
Yep.
I think that's like the Fifth World or something like that.
I think it's the orange one.
Yeah. So you can do stuff like that. That just would be super visually grabbing, but also like in game could be very effective to use. So those are my 2 picks.
So I got a question for you with the Paper Mario one. Would he get any of his companions, like his?
I think that could be
moves?
Yeah, I think that could be a move. I mean, my mind instantly goes like Pokemon Trainer, where the side and down and up were different moves, and that could be depending on, you could maybe grab a character from each game, so you really show the whole cast, or you could lock in on, the Thousand Year Door or something like that, or the original. That definitely could be something you could do.
Great ideas.
Zoltaski, what about you?
Yeah, it's okay. I'll go. So this one's, I've seen this. You guys have all seen it probably. I would have to finally put Goku in the game. I just would have to. It's a fighting. He's been in so many other fighting games. His recovery up B, instant transmission. His B. You got like it'll be like Cloud has, where he charges up and then he can down B transform to do more damage, but only for a short period of time. You'll go through his transformations. His side B, I honestly don't know what I would put that as. Probably just like Ki Blasts. But for his final smash, which is the full special move, it would be fusion with Vegito, and then Gogeta, the more powerful one, and the final Kamehameha.
It'd be
nice.
It'd be like a beam.
Just take out the entire rest of the field there.
Yeah, because when you said Master Chief, I thought you were gonna go with the Spartan laser.
That you could do that,
yeah.
Or I was thinking of like you get an energy sword, and if you hit someone, they just go flying. Grav hammer, right?
Grav
that
hammer
could be fun.
Pain of my existence.
Yeah, dude, the Kamehameha in Fortnite was so fun to use, dude.
Yeah,
like you just like torch buildings and just blow everything up.
That's awesome. I miss it.
Until people just realized they could just shoot you while you're floating in the air.
Initially, everyone was scared, and then it turns into speaking of Marvel Rivals, like when Wanda uses it all, people were scared at first.
Yeah.
Now people are just like, you got to shoot him real quick before they get it off.
Load on him.
Mm-hmm.
Was that your only one, Goku?
Yeah, just Goku, I think. Because my other one was Sora, but he's in Ultimate now.
Yeah.
And, Snake's in there too. But
I like the Goku pick.
Yeah,
I like the Goku pick because
that's a solid one.
He's been in fan casting, I guess, for at least 10 years. I remember like Smash 4 when they started adding like a little bit of third-party IPs. That was like kind of when I started hearing about it. So makes sense.
When they had the polls, I think he was like
1 or 2, right?
Yeah, he was in the top 10. I think Sora always stuck at number 1 because people just wanted him really bad.
Fish, what about you?
I originally had a big Pikmin guy, so I really wanted Olimar. But it turns out he's an Ultimate as well, much like 900 other characters. So I'm probably going to end up defaulting. I'm going to take the comedic route. You guys know that I love Evil Dead. I'd love to see Ash in there. With all of his phrases, groovy, boomstick. he's not going to be an overpowered character. He's probably going to be that one, like, the four of us are together, we're just bullshitting around. Some guy picks him and he's just spamming boomstick or anything like that in the corner. Pops off a couple shots, says a groovy, stuff like that. So I would like to, see Ash in there for a little bit more comedic aspect with all of his sayings. Even if the chainsaw, he pulls the thing back and it doesn't start, and he's got to do it again, maybe a couple other times. So little things like that. I figured his ultimate would be, I like for him to pull out the Necronomicon and read from it, and then that old lady Deadite from the original one comes out and helps as your companion, kind of messes people up, and maybe she gets the long snake head too. I think that would be so cool, and I would default in that character 100% of the time. I think it'd be awesome.
Fish is insta-locking.
100%, dude. It would be so much fun.
God,
It really
yes,
would.
Now I want to play Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Well, good news is we gotta do the gaming one time. So
Yeah.
I'm in. You guys are getting waxed though.
yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
not good at
probably.
it. Like Madden. I'm here for it. Give me Ash. I'll be in the corner. I'll see you in a little bit.
Dude, Fish, how good was Pikmin 4, man? How good was that game?
So I haven't played Pikmin 4 yet. I was the OG of the original Pikmin and Pikmin 2. And I remember as a kid on the GameCube playing those things for hours at a time. Just launching 1,000 Pikmins at the Bulldogs and stuff like that. So I just don't have time to play the other ones because there's 17 other Pokemon games that I also need to play. Just haven't done it. Because every time we get on, as you saw, we're in Call of Duty or Marvel Rivals or someone's
Call of Duty.
Backing out because they're irritated because of Marvel Rivals or Call of Duty. So it's things have changed where it's not so much solo games now. That would be you. That would be you. Things have changed so it's not so much more solo games now. It's all right. There's 6 of us on. Yeah, now let's all go ahead and hang out and stuff. But it is on my list to play. But the original 2, if it's anything like those or better, that's going to be a knock out of the park. So.
Oh, so you never played 3 either?
3's really good too.
I think I might have dabbled in 3 for a little bit, and I started playing Call of Duty when the OG came out. So
I got 1 and 2 for the Switch sitting on the shelf.
Yeah,
I gotta get it. Like I played a little bit of it. I gotta get into those.
Yeah.
Fish hypes them up.
I love the Pikmins, man. They're so good.
I need to get back into 1,000 Year
they're
Door
so
Remake
fun.
too, though.
That too, yeah.
You mentioned that, and I'm just like, I have my GameCube copy, complete in box on the shelf. I love that game. That was the Paper Mario game that I got into. I never played the original one until after I played the sequel.
Hot take here. I think the original is better than 1,000 Year Door. That's my little spicy take because everyone loves. I love 1,000 Year Door too. I'm not saying it's bad. I just like the original because I played the original first, so it's probably like nostalgia. But yeah, Pikmin 4. I want to see a Switch 2 update for that because it is pushing the Switch 1 to its limits. It's like more like open world than the previous Pikmin. It's a really gorgeous game.
We never got your pick.
Oh, my favorite character to play in Smash, at least the latest one, was Pokemon Trainer. So I kind of wanted to not make a clone of that, but maybe put like Yugi in the game or something like that.
Okay.
Oh, dude, that would be sick.
Like power up to Pharaoh form, and the characters would just be that much more powerful. But yeah,
Dibs on Pegasus if he comes in.
Yeah, that was my pick. Yeah, just Dark Magician.
Awesome. I'm glad
blue
you
eyes,
told
red eyes
us.
out there. So yeah,
dude, that'd be sick.
That would be fun.
I saw a full PSA 10 set of the Exodia at the card shop today. It was like $235. I was like, that'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
But
Yu-Gi-Oh cards just don't slap like Pokemon. Unfortunately,
not yet. At least maybe someday.
Hopefully, I got a lot over here. So,
but all this talk of Nintendo games, I think, is the perfect segue into our draft. Nutter, what do you think?
I think you were correct, sir. Let me switch our transition here, and then we are drafting the best Nintendo exclusive titles. Now, I self-admittedly never was a Nintendo kid, so my picks are probably going to be pretty basic here, but we're going to
go with your heart
and get into the draft order. So we'll have a little drum roll.
I want to be upset if my first one gets stolen, but I've got a laundry list to grab from. So,
well, it might get stolen.
Dude, it's huge.
JimTasty's first. Zoltowski,
okay,
your
okay.
second. Fish, your third. Now bringing up the rear.
Let's go.
I'll take
I'm
that.
purposely taking fishes because I know what it is.
I got 38 of them. It's fine.
I know what your number one is. I might be wrong, but
I think you do. I think everyone does.
All right, I'm ready to make my pick right now. If I get
Take it
number
away.
one.
Go for it, dude.
yeah.
I'm going with the GOAT, man. Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Lock it in.
Yep. Now, original or the 3D remake?
I mean, honestly, both. I think the changes that the 3DS makes it doesn't like completely or like compromise the vision in any way. I'm used to the N64 graphics. It's a little more nostalgic for me. Another little spicy take. I think they should do a full-on remake of Ocarina of Time, man.
I'm
Like,
so in.
and 99% of the time, whenever I see those like Unreal Engine videos on YouTube of like a Zelda game, I'm like, okay, that looks like super whack.
Like put that
But
in
when it's Ocarina of
cart
Time,
now.
I'm like, yeah, dude, like they need to do that because again, the original, it's perfect still in my opinion. I just pretty graphics would just be really cool to see. So, but
I agree with you there.
it stands the test of time. You see, whenever I still play it, the story beats still hit me emotionally. It's a powerful story, and again, another little tangent. Whenever they do the Zelda movie in 2 years or something, you gotta copy Ocarina of Time story. Maybe you can change things up a little bit or whatever, but like you need to adapt Ocarina of Time.
I didn't even know they were making a Zelda movie. Has it been casted?
No, but it's live action. So
Yep.
unlike the Mario movie, which was CGI. Also, shout out another tangent. The sequel title, Super Mario World. Simple, genius, love it. But the Zelda movie is gonna be live action, so we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
Starring
I'm
Chris
curious.
Pratt as Link.
People are fantastic like Timothy Chalamet or Tom Holland. Like,
Tom Holland's
True
good.
that. Yeah.
yeah, he's a great actor.
Yeah.
I would love if they did the Ocarina of Time and you had a young Link and an adult.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that would be awesome.
Because both elements of that story are so powerful, and it makes the relationships with all of his friends that much more hard hitting when they win, eventually. So
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna follow up with another Legend of Zelda pick. I'm gonna go with The Wind Waker.
okay.
Which that is my favorite Zelda game of all time, but that's again more of a nostalgia thing. It was the first one I had, so I had the GameCube, I had the disc that had Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on there,
Yeah.
and I have the collection one with all of like those two, Zelda 1 and Zelda 2. But Wind Waker, I remember playing the Wind Waker demo, and then my uncle got me the game for my birthday, and I sucked. I mean, I couldn't figure it out. I was 8 at the time, and I remember finally getting past the fortress and then getting
Dude, yeah.
through
The stealth.
Dragon Roost and all that, and I get a hankering every year at least to go through and replay it. And I play the Wii U version just because the Swift sale, like it's quality of life, 100% quality of life, and I need them to bring it to the Switch so I can play it on the go.
Yeah, shout out to the Wii U, man. Still catching some W's,
I'm learning I need to give a Zelda game a chance. I've never played a Zelda game.
They're so good, dude. I will loan you a copy that you can rip to your computer so you can emulate it legally.
Hey, nut.
What's up, buddy?
I also haven't played one.
Dude,
Yeah, I know,
really?
I feel like it's
Fish,
part of my
that's-
childhood just missing. I
Fish
was always a
surprises
PlayStation
me.
kid.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I know Fish was a GameCube kid.
Yeah, but it was Resident Evil 4. It was Mario Kart. It was Pikmin. It was a lot Pokemon. There was a lot of other games.
Yeah.
There was even NHL 04. I'll throw that in there.
NHL hits
I mean,
2002.
I got to go back to the house and look at all the games that I have. I think C has the little GameCube like pocket thing where you could shove like 38 discs in there or something like that. But
Yeah, the
there's-
butter lid discs.
yeah,
Yeah,
that is wild.
so small.
It's amazing. My go.
It's
your
your
go,
go,
buddy.
my friend.
Zoltowski, what were you thinking my number one was?
It's Pikmin.
It is in fact Pikmin.
Pikmin 1 to be
Pikmin
specific.
1.
Yeah, dude, it was.
Whoa. 1/2? Okay. I respect that.
I mean, both of them are just so good, but I just remember
Yeah.
sitting at the house right out of school and it just slogging away on it. It was just one of those mind-numbing games where it didn't take 9,000 different strategies to do this, this, and this. You just threw yellow, blue, red Pikmin and just going on a loop. It was just incredible.
The dopamine rush.
No, it's so exciting.
Like
And then you get the
so-
heavy hitters, and then these. Yeah, it was great.
It's like the original
Pikmin
Silver
1.
Surfers.
Pikmin 1 for me was that first like next gen experience because it came out like it wasn't day one, but it was like a month later or something. So it was still like 2001. And I remember going over to a buddy's house for a sleepover, and he had a GameCube early, and he had Pikmin, and just seeing the graphics and then how many characters are on the screen, right? You play
Yeah,
like
so-
Mario 64, Ocarina of Time. There's like 3 or 4 or 5 bad guys on at a time, and there's like 100 Pikmin running around. And you're like, holy crap! Like, definitely.
Invincible. Absolutely.
Overstimulated.
Never.
But I'm going to take my first pick, and never had a Nintendo system, but I had friends that had Nintendo 64, and I always played games when I went to their house. So most of my games are probably going to be on Nintendo 64.
Fine. It's a
But the
great
first one
system.
I'm
Still
going
have
with
one.
is original Mario Kart. That game was so much
yes.
fun.
I mean,
It's my favorite version.
the second Mario Kart. The second one, buddy. There was one on the Super Nintendo.
Oh, was there?
You want 64, right?
Yes, that's the one I want. I
I'm
played
not sure.
You should
that.
lose the pick.
Look, I'm a Nintendo fanboy, so
Played that as a lad, and I also played that in college. A little bit different version, but
dude, it's so weird how like we went to college. Like the Xbox One was coming out, the PS4, but I remember being in the dorm room playing, original Super Smash Bros. Or playing, the game
Mario Party.
Yeah, Mario Party or Mario Kart or Period
Yeah.
Kart.
Dude, Mario Kart 64. Again, it's nostalgic because it was the first one I played. But I think it's my favorite Mario Kart. Like,
It's
obviously like
simple.
8 plays better in some ways, but the physics for 64 just feel so good in my opinion. Great track list, best battle mode. I think you can say that definitively. It's got the best maps.
definitely, yeah.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
great. Wario Stadium. Oh, I love that level, dude. The giant jump. Oh man,
Yes.
Royal Raceway, getting to go to Peach's Castle too, and a little Easter egg.
Rainbow
Oh,
Road was
yeah,
from
perfect.
that one, right? It wasn't in the first one.
It was in the
one.
first one
Oh,
too.
was it?
But
Okay.
again, the most
The-
iconic version for me is the 64 one
Yeah.
because
Yep.
it was so neon, dude. Like I remember playing with my dad, and like he would complain about how crazy it was with the colors and like the neon lights.
Well,
in the
yeah,
air,
and it
sky.
actually looked like like it was translucent, like an actual
Yeah.
rainbow, like you could see through it. All the other ones, they had it was more of a rainbow colored track that was floating in the sky. That one felt like you were driving on a rainbow.
I went for the cheat jump every time.
Of course, you did.
Oh yeah, at the start.
I swear I never got it. I mean, I got it a couple times, but so keeping in theme with the 64, I think my next pick is probably going to be the first person shooter I've ever played, GoldenEye.
Ooh,
Solid pick.
classic.
Solid pick.
Classic.
That one's on the Switch and it's on the Xbox, and you can use 2 sticks, and it doesn't feel right.
Oh, dude, it feels great.
No,
Like,
it feels great, but it just feels weird to go back
Yeah.
and play that game and be like, oh, now it's a twin stick shooter now. Like, this is not how I remember it. But I'm like, oh my god, because I remember seeing speedruns for that game on the 64. So I can only imagine what they are now.
yeah, when it came out on Xbox, the controls just felt so good. It was like Halo. It felt like a Halo game with the twin stick shooting and the weapon swapping and everything. And yeah, that's just it. Because again, whenever I go back to GoldenEye, the single stick controls are they're a little challenging now.
It's a bit
To
janky.
be fair, yeah. But the Xbox version cleans all that up, and it feels so intuitive. Definitive way to play, in my opinion.
And if you have the original controller, you're probably dealing with quite a bit of stick drift and
Oh yeah,
input issues. So, but Fish, we're back to you. Are you gonna take what I think you're about to take here?
I'm gonna take Pokemon Stadium 2.
Oh, okay. That's
Ooh,
not what I thought you were gonna
okay.
take.
It's that game because I mean, if you had yellow or blue or gold, it didn't matter. You could always hook it up to the back of the N64 controller, plug in your Pokemon, you get the battle there too, right? But the mini games were the most
Oh,
fun. The
yes.
mini games were incredible. And 1, 2, I mean, it didn't matter. It was a lot of fun. It was just endless hours of just playing that with my sister, and when people come over, doing the sleepovers and stuff, it was fun having somebody choose the favorite Pokemon out of the entire list, um, and just battling, and just But this is before you had the DS hookups, and you can like link with each other and battle there. This was everyone was the same level. There was no bullshit, nothing like that, and you just fought, and it was a little bit strategy.
Are you telling me you never used the transfer pack to put your
No,
game?
no, of course they use the transfer pack.
Okay.
1000%.
Okay.
Come on.
I was
Well,
gonna say, buddy.
it didn't feel right. It was also nice
Yeah.
too because if you had a level 100 or if it was higher than 50, all the Pokemon on the opposite side would be at that level. So it was a nice little like, oh, I can't just blow through this real quick. I actually have to think about it in battle.
And playing your GameCube or your Game Boy games on the big screen. 'Cause I never had a Super Game Boy growing up. That's a great pick.
A lot of fun.
So,
I know.
I thought you were gonna go with
All right.
Pikmin too, but that is a great pick.
Pikmin 2 has great multiplayer too, man.
Wait to the next round. I got that one coming up. Nobody take it now.
around. All right, so I'm gonna also stick with the N64, I guess, on this one. I'm gonna go with a great Mario sports game. I'm gonna go with the original Mario Golf for the Nintendo 64.
Ooh.
I just remember playing it with my sister and my dad a ton. Trying to unlock all the characters. They had the putt in there. It was so fun. Oh, dude, I remember I used Metal Mario when we finally unlocked him, and he had this crazy draw.
Yeah.
And it would save your highlights, like for if you got eagles or albatrosses or hole in ones, it would save a clip of it so you could go back and watch it. So I could prove it, be like, yeah, look, hey, I hit this. Like it actually happened because I would sit there and play it all the time.
Clip it.
And it's on the Switch, so I fire it up every now and again when I don't know what I want to play. Same with Pokemon Stadium 2. It's also on the Switch.
Yeah, dude, that's a great pick because, Nard, I don't know if you were there yesterday when I was talking about it, but I was talking about Mario Golf and that era of Mario sports games, Nintendo sports games, because they just were all like hitting on the money. Like the Mario Golf on Game Boy Color was also like really great.
Yes, dude, that one was so fun.
Mario Tennis was awesome. Like just on and on. Like so many great sports games.
I bought the Mario Golf and Tennis for the DS versions on the Game Boy Color of them, so I could replay through them.
Yeah. Oh, so good. Man. Okay. Now that it's my pick, I was like thinking. I was like, man, there's just so many games, dude. So many good games. Do I just go for the prestige titles? Do I go for some wacky pick? A game that I love that may not be the best. I don't know, dude. Like.
Go for your favorite games.
Because I also want to.
What speaks to you?
Because I also overanalyze this stuff. I'm like I want to do different generations of games, so it's not so I get the whole experience. I think what I'll go with next is I think I'm gonna go with it's actually really tough. I will go with Metroid Prime.
Okay.
The original Metroid Prime. Honestly, the remastered version is really great too.
I've had fun with it.
Shout out to Retro Studios, Austin, Texas. Let's go. But it's like the original and the remastered. It's some of the best graphics I've ever seen for each respective era. Beautiful environmental storytelling, great gameplay, great progression in terms of getting new power-ups. When I played the remaster in 2023, that was like one of the best games I played that year. And it was a 21-year-old game at the time, 20-year-old game at the time. Like the game design for that just holds up so incredibly well. Can't wait for 4.
I played the trilogy on the Wii. Was my first time playing that. I still have it. I bought it digitally on the Wii U.
Yeah.
I've never made it all the way through it. I get into it. I'll get pretty far, and then I just get lost. And those early Metroid games, if you don't remember what you're doing, it's pretty hard to figure back up. I do have the remastered, and I want to get back into it because it looks so fun, especially with 4 finally being shown and announced.
Yeah.
And
120 frames.
I've always liked the Metroid series. Fusion is a good one.
Don't be afraid to. Yeah, I love Fusion as well. That game is amazing. Don't be afraid, because I was always like this, and then I just got over myself. Was like, don't be afraid to pull up a guide, because as a kid, getting the keys to unlock the final gate, that was what always helped me out, because I just couldn't figure it out. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'll just look it up if I ever get stuck. And there you go. So, okay, so for my next pick. So we got N64, we got GameCube. I'll go with there's so many games. I'll go with let's do, I'm trying to think here. See, I just want to go with all like prestige single player games, but I feel like I have to throw in a multiplayer game too, you know? Let's go with okay, yeah. Let's go with Star Fox 64. Star Fox 64. That's my pick. And that's another game that I think is a 10 out of 10. It's so good that every time Nintendo makes a new game, they literally try to remake this game because it was just so perfect. For the time, really great voice acting. I mean, how many times do you think about do a barrel roll and
Do a barrel roll?
yeah, like they came from behind and all these like classic lines. The graphics are really good, I think, for that era. The music is incredible. And it actually has a really good story. It has like kind of that choose your own adventure element to it as well. So based on what you do or don't do, you literally will get a different story every time. Yeah, like when you beat Andros and you fly out of the base at the end and the music just crescendos, like it's awesome, man. I never, I don't get as emotionally moved playing a video game as I do when I play Star Fox 64. It's just perfect. And it's not too long. Like you can play the whole game in like an hour. It's like a movie. So, it's just really great pacing, and I just hope Star Fox comes back, cuz the timing is always so bad with Star Fox. Like they put out the one on Wii U and it was like not the best, and of course no one had a Wii U anyway, so it didn't sell that much. So hopefully they can figure out that formula, how to adapt 64 to a modern game, and we can go from there.
That's a great pick.
And it's got great multiplayer. It's got good multiplayer, so it does have that multiplayer element.
N64 was peak. N64 GameCube was peak multiplayer for Nintendo. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I played Star Fox multiplayer, but I never played this story because I wasn't just gonna sit there with my friends and play a story for an hour. I feel like I'll talk to you guys later.
On the Switch, I think I'm pretty sure a lot of these 64 ones are on the Switch now. Thankfully, Nintendo has been better about that. Played on the big screen, not on a computer screen. But it's my go, correct? I am gonna snag my Pokemon pick because I know Fish probably has another one coming, and I don't want to lose this one. But I'm gonna go with my second ever Pokemon game. I'm gonna go with Pokemon Yellow.
Ooh.
So I had Blue to begin with, and then they announced, the Pokemon Yellow version's coming out. Oh, you get Pikachu. It's kind of like the anime, and the Pikachu would follow you, and I wanted it for Christmas. I remember I didn't get it, and I was happy because I got a lot of other stuff I wanted. I was a little bummed. I remember walking up the stairs, and my dad calls my name. I turn around and I see behind the Christmas tree there's another gift, a small square.
It's a Red Ryder BB gun.
I start losing my. He did that. I did that with Double Dash too. We found it downstairs in the basement.
That's awesome.
And it was Pokemon Yellow, and I played that one. I still have it. It's somewhere in storage. It's in my transfer pack for my Nintendo 64. My copy of Pokemon Yellow. because you got to get all 3 starters. You know, you got to take your Pikachu, and you had to find another Pokemon, or just, you know, bang your head against the wall against Brock, the rock type trainer. It just throws, you know, all the, you know, even they fixed some of the glitches, but it's, you know, it was slow, but it's, you know, it's just that the nostalgia of, like, I remember jumping into this world when I had 150 Pokemon, not 987 or however many there are now.
There's a lot.
Pokemon
and that's
named
all it
after
was.
garbage.
Yep.
All right, dude.
Yeah, there's 2, Trubbish and Garbodor, buddy. And the one has a G-Max form, so it's really big garbage.
Yeah.
But it's
Landfill.
Pokemon Yellow. It's probably, I honestly, I wouldn't say that it's my personal favorite, but it's the one that holds the most sentimental value to me.
That's a
that
great
I
pick.
just love.
Solid pick.
I think I have a copy of Pokemon Yellow behind me. I don't know if you can see it, but it's by Pikachu. Anyways, it's a fantastic pick. I would get up and get it, but I'm not going to do that right now.
Oh, dude, my shelf is right over here, and I have, like, a lot of these games we've talked about are sitting over there, and I'm just like,
You just have the
I wanna
urge
go
to
grab
show
it.
them.
Yeah, like, look, I love Nintendo. Sponsor us, please. Early Switch 2s,
Yeah.
please. Sword and Shield, playable.
Bro, you got a Switch 2 coming, don't you?
I do, yeah. Day 1, picking it up,
Well,
running Mario Kart World.
That looks so fun.
Yeah.
It does.
I'm probably gonna pick up like Breath of the Wild Switch 2 edition just to get those frames and those resis.
They're only, what, $10 to upgrade?
I think so. I'm
It's
one of
not
those
bad.
weirdos. I'll have to see what the packaging is, but if it's like a new cart and stuff, I might just get the box just to have
I can
it.
respect that.
We'll see though. We'll see.
All right, Fish.
I'm going to go one that no one's going to see. I'm going to go ahead and say Luigi's Mansion.
Oh,
Ooh, that's a good one.
Interesting.
that is
I
a good
think-
one.
I think that's
It
where
was-
most of my horror aficionado and love for horror has come from, probably that game. It just, you're a ghost hunter. Who wouldn't want to do that? It was a lot of fun. Yeah, Luigi. I like Luigi over Mario anyway. So, but I mean, be able to walk around this giant mansion, all the little tricks, all the little things that you could do. You take down a pot and you get, it's just, there's a lot of things you could do that as a child I never thought you could do, and then you start to kind of unravel the possibilities of, in this room there's a million different things that you could do, and now you're starting to figure it out. So it was a blast as a kid. It's still a blast. I still have it. It's on the GameCube. I think it's that little pocket thing C's got. But yeah, it's a classic. It was big in my childhood.
That's a fantastic pick, man.
I
That
loved
is
it,
such
man.
a good game.
That breeds your love for Phasmophobia.
I mean, nowadays, now that I know that the ghosts aren't real and they're not scary, and easy. I'm still not going in to res anybody or get the last clue, but we're here for it.
That's
I'll do
funny.
it.
So Luigi's Mansion was a game that whenever I like one time I went over to my friend's house and I had just picked it up and I was like, dude, I just got to show you this game. And I just played it for like 2 hours at his house because it was just so addicting, man. So good.
It really was. It was tough to put down the controller again.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a good one. Especially now, trying to that. Oh, hey, I can suck this boss ghost up in one go and get all this money for it. Trying to go for like the biggest mansion at the end.
It's nuts.
God,
A lot of fun.
man, I need to play new games, and now you guys want to make me play all these retro games.
I'm gonna have to buy like an N64 and a GameCube now.
GameCube at the car shop, they have one for $100.
Yeah, they're not bad anymore. They've gone down. The games I think have as well, especially with re-releases and remasters. And now that the Switch too is gonna have GameCube games on it. Like I saw OG Wind Waker, Luigi's Mansion, Soul Calibur 2 with
F-Zero
Link in there.
GX.
Yes,
Shout out to F-Zero.
GX. So just
Is F-Zero what
Coming.
Captain Falcon's from?
Falcon.
Yes.
Yep.
I almost said Captain America, but that's definitely not correct.
Yep.
Um,
Falcon Punch.
But I have 2 picks left back to back, and they're actually 2 picks I wanted since the beginning. So I know I originally said I'm going to be 64 the whole time. I'm going to break that mold.
Liar.
My favorite version of the Smash title is Melee. So I'm going with
Nice.
Super Smash Brothers Melee. That was always
That
my
was-
favorite game to play whenever I went over to friends' houses.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were like, "Oh, let's play this game. Let's play this game." I was like, "Yeah, that's fine as long as we play Super Smash later." So
Who was your main in Melee?
Kirby,
Or did you rotate? Kirby?
Kirby.
You
Checks
were
out.
you were the guy
100%.
that sat on the edge, sucked him up, and fell off,
Yeah.
and then spit him out and flew up. Yeah, okay. My buddy did that. and
Except I
hated him
didn't
for
spit
it.
him out and fly up. I just fell with him. I Jeff the Land Shark.
Oh, man.
Um, yeah, I'm
I've
going with
got-
that. And then I feel like I have to pick a Pokemon title just because.
2 E's at the end of that.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wouldn't be a podcast without another misspelling something.
They're pretty good so far.
Hey,
Like
you know
so-
what? I got you, buddy.
But you know, we talk about all these vintage, you know, Pokemon titles, and I may catch some flack for this, but Let's Go Pikachu on the Switch was a lot of fun for me. It was just
Yeah.
cool seeing all the
Yeah,
Pokemon
no.
out, and you know, kind of felt like a more immersive experience, I guess, than just
Mhm.
walking through
Yeah.
pixelated grass. So that was really fun. I liked all the Pokemon out walking around with you. It was pretty cool. So I'm going to go with Let's Go Pikachu.
Shiny hunting was so fun in
Yes,
that game.
it was.
Because it wasn't just, hey, go shove your face into the grass, you know, for 30 hours until you get something. You build the combo and actually get a good chance of getting what you want. Ah, a good one.
Which,
Yeah, because that's a remake kind of Yellow, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, I haven't played it all the way through, but I watched like my friend's kid play it once, and just like how accessible they made it for like a new audience was just super impressive, and just like the design choices of seeing all your Pokemon and the catching mechanic, which is super fun. Like it was
I would
just a great
love
way to reimagine
Let's
that.
Go.
yeah, kind of
I
took
would love a
nostalgia and it
Let's
made
Go
it a
Johto.
little more fresh. So, and
I would
it
love it. Let's
also-
go Sapphire, dude. That Sapphire
Oh,
was
let's
my
go
jam.
Hoenn. Let's go Hoenn. I'm in.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
I'm in.
Let's go Blaziken, you know?
dude,
I was
that
I liked Mudkips. Still do.
Yeah.
that's how it really like launched Eevee forward too. Like forever. it was
Oh,
just,
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Pikachu was the guy, and now it's like Pikachu and Eevee, they're equal. So it was kind of crazy. But
Mhm.
Fishy boy.
Fish.
Oh,
Fishy
Am I
boy.
good? Wow, the last pick. Another one that I don't think anybody's going to see. Again, it's all nostalgia back from the childhood, right? We always try to relive these years. A big one for me was Super Monkey Ball. That game
dude.
was incredible. It didn't make any sense. You're like this monkey's trapped in a ball, and you're like going around collecting all the bananas, doing all this other crazy stuff. It was so much fun. So much fun. Again, one of those mind-numbing things where you're on a platform, you're trying to take that corner, get that banana, and then jump to the other side. It was a blast from childhood.
The actual
That's a fun
real
one.
original Subway Surfers was that one.
The speedruns for that game are nuts too.
Yeah,
Dude,
I
I've
can only
seen
imagine.
them recently, and
That's
it's just like,
nuts.
all right, yeah, there's no
Well, because
way.
I think they did, Banana Mania for the Switch is the remake of the first 3 ones for console.
Ah.
So, and it's
Dude, that-
on everything, but it's on PC. Oh man,
That mini game where you had to like go down the slide and then fly, and then you had to land on the like dartboard or whatever. Dude,
Yeah.
that's so fun.
Lots of fun.
all right. So there's a lot of picks here, like a lot for me for this last one, but I don't think anyone's gonna see this. I'm gonna win with another handheld title though.
Okay.
So, my buddy showed me this game, and I fell in love. I hate turn-based RPGs. I don't know what it is. I just don't like them. But this turn-based RPG I love. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Luigi. I don't know if you guys have ever played this game.
I have.
But it is the story is so good. The you use A for Mario, B for Luigi. They own separate controls. All the bros moves you could do. You know, the puzzles, the collecting the beans. Just and they remade it for 3DS, and it was fun. It was nice to see it. You know, get the visuals up a little bit, but they took a couple things out, and it just doesn't fuel the nostalgia like the original Game Boy Advance one does.
What was it called? I'm sorry.
Superstar Saga.
Fish was being mean. I couldn't.
No, I flubbed it. It's Ouija. It's Ouija time. But I believe, like I said, I think this one's on the Switch too. If you guys have not played it, it's something you can pick up and put down if you need. Hey, I got 20 minutes to burn. I don't want to launch COD because it's going to take 15 because I got shaders.
Oh my god!
Pick up the Switch and play this game.
Whatever happened to just blowing into the console and it's ready to go?
That's why it's playing on
shaders
console
nowadays.
I love Superstar Saga, man. Like, again, rest in peace to Alpha Dream, the dev team that made all those games that got shut down because they didn't make they didn't have any stinkers. Let's say some of the games weren't the best, but Superstar Saga. One of my pet peeves with Nintendo is they refuse to build on the lore of their worlds, especially Mario. But Superstar Saga does a great job of constructing a really actually good, intricate story within the Mario universe. They haven't done that too many. Paper Mario 64, that's another one where they kind of build into that. So that era, man, was special.
And it's nice to see Bowser not be the main bad guy. And the sequel to Partners in Time, I had that on the DS. And both the final bosses in this game were so hard on the original.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Dude, oh my god, I can remember almost throwing my GBA at Cackletta. Or no, it was Bowletta.
Yeah, she takes him over, yeah. Okay, yeah, I have a interesting pick here. On one hand, I want to pick this super fun multiplayer game that, some people hate, but I think they hate it because they just aren't good at it. But we also don't have a mainline Mario game on this list, and I feel like if we don't have a mainline Mario game, I think we're messing up. But I don't have a pure multiplayer game though. I feel like I need something like that, just have a little variety.
We can do honorable mentions at the end.
Yeah.
The list is endless.
I know, right? There's
so long.
I literally could put any mainline Mario game on here and it would be Mario has no misses. I think I'm gonna go just to have a little different variety in the generations and to have some mainline Mario representation. I think I'm gonna go Super Mario Odyssey. It's another 10 out of 10 video game. Amazing graphics, great gameplay. I mean, you can just play it casually, but then you watch those speedrunners, man, and they're throwing the hat and flipping all over the place. It's nuts. Amazing music, dude. So much fun. And then the progression with the moons. You can just collect, the 120 moons to beat the game, but there's 900 if you really want to go for it. The cameos and nostalgia with the different costumes. There's this one part where you're in New Donk City, which is kind of based off of the original Donkey Kong game. I don't think I've experienced as much pure joy than playing that section in New Donk City, if you know what I'm talking about, with the song, the music.
When you're climbing up, I know.
Yeah,
exactly
I was just
what you're talking about.
I just was smiling from ear to ear, man. I was like, this is awesome. And we haven't gotten a new one, so this is the latest 3D Mario game, and because that game's been out for 7+ years now, they have one cooking, ready to go, probably for maybe the end of this year or next year for sure. I think so. It's excited to see how are they going to match it, right? Because I feel like Odyssey really set the standard. Because I think it's just way more fun and accessible than the Galaxy games, which are 10 out of 10s as well. 64 is obviously really great too, but yeah, it's a perfect video game in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I didn't get all of them, but you can get, I think it's once you get 800, you get to like that last part, because the rest of them are like doing certain amount of things certain times, and you talk to Toadette in I won't spoil it, I don't know if you guys have played it, but the last world that you get to go to get like extra ones. But I remember on, at the end there, just taking that long, there was no enemies, nothing, just that long journey and that long climb to the very, very top, and it was just so satisfying to throw Cappy and watch the wire fill up.
Mm-hmm. When you get that nostalgic costume, I won't spoil what it is, but like,
Yep.
I was just like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think they would do this, and they did it, and it just looks so cool, and yeah, just an amazing video game, man. Switch One, that first year with Breath of the Wild and Odyssey, that was just a heck of a year, man. Heck of a year.
Hopefully the Switch 2 starts off strong just as well.
It looks like it, right? We get a brand new Mario Kart game. We get Metroid Prime 4, which will presumably be really good.
New 3D Donkey Kong game, which I'm
Dude,
interested in.
As a Donkey Kong 64 fan, I
need it.
Champing at the bit. It doesn't look the exact same like stuff, but it looks like Odyssey but Donkey Kong, which is also really good. So I can't wait for that.
Didn't they change the way Donkey Kong looked recently?
They did, yeah. It started with the movie, and then they kind of adapted that design to like the games.
It reminds me of the old Donkey Kong Jr.
Yeah, it's definitely very retro and inspired. It looks great, but I'm also it's kind of like with when they changed the Peter Parker design in the Marvel Spider-Man games. I'm like, okay, the original wasn't bad. Why'd they change it? But they did. It's like, I don't know, like it's okay.
Okay, that is. He's a lot less menacing looking.
I know.
That's his whole thing.
Yeah,
he's a gorilla. Like he's spooky.
Yeah.
Who would win, Donkey Kong or 100 Marios?
I mean, Mario's tough, dude.
Is it base Mario's or like power ups or anything?
Base Mario.
Donkey Kong. Down B all day. You know what I'm talking about? Yep.
Is it the one where he twirls around?
No.
Oh,
he like slams the ground.
The ground. This is up B. This is where he swirls around.
Mm-hmm.
I played a lot of Donkey Kong in Smash Bros. Makes sense.
Any honorable mentions? Should I even ask?
The list is
Mario Party for me.
Long.
I mean,
dude, that was gonna be mine. I was like, I love Mario Party so much because it's such a unique game in the way that like you have to like make alliances, but also betray people and also play the board and the mini. It's like it's super intricate. Like one time I watched this like hour-long video on like this guy who was like developed the perfect strat on how to like play mental games with people while you play. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like this is intense, man. But it's super casual too. You can just play and have fun and get lucky with the chance time and win, right? So it's like it's a great equalizer. You can be a pro, you can be a casual and still have the same odds of winning. You know, that's why I love it.
I think
and I love board games too. So
Jamboree, the one that just came out, that's got the mix of it's got like all the mini games. It's got the mix of the old boards. 2 is my favorite. You got the costumes, the best videos, the best mini games. Like it was so good playing that with my sister and our cousins. But
I don't know why they don't do the costumes again, man. That was the only time they did it. It was perfect.
But I got Super Mario Sunshine. You said Melee. Played the crap out of that. Ultimate's fantastic just because it's got every character in there and it's more balanced than Melee is. I mean,
even
Mario
original
Golf
Super Smash Brothers too.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the game was so fun.
Dude, Super Smash Brothers. I would go to this haircut place when I was a kid that had N64s and they had Smash Bros. And I didn't have the game. I didn't own that, so like that was my only chance to play it for like 15 minutes every 2 months or something. But like
it's time to get a haircut again.
Yeah.
And it was like a kiddie place too. So I was like 9, and my dad was like, "Are you too old for this?" I was like, "Nah, dude. I need to play Smash Bros."
No, give me Smash Bros, please.
Ness,
No,
shout out
but-
to Ness.
Oh God.
Barter with your dad.
I was like, "Who is this guy?"
Yes.
Why don't you give me a
I was
buzz
like, "Who is
cut
this
for
guy?"
They need
3
to
years
bring
if you buy
Mother
me a
3.
64?
I know, dude. Mother 3. When are they? I don't know why they don't do it.
Who knows? But no, the list keeps going on and on. Fish, you got anything?
Mario Strikers was a big. I
Yes.
love soccer. It was a blast to do 3v3 with 4v4, I think, with goalies and stuff. But it was a good time. But like JimTasty said, there's 97 pages on Google that you can just scroll through and pick any one of those games. It could be an honorable mention.
Yeah. 100% agree with that. I mean, we talked about some earlier, Paper Mario games. Pokemon Pinball, underrated Pokemon game.
That's good. It's fun.
Pokemon Snap.
Liz's, all right. I'm gonna throw
Wii
shout out
Sports.
to
How about Wii
Liz.
Sports?
True.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Iconic.
her favorite is Diddy Kong Racing. I don't know if you guys ever
Dude.
played that one.
Bro, that's the best kart racer ever. It's better than any Mario Kart, in my opinion. But yeah, we need a new one. Come on, Nintendo, please.
Yeah, I'm in.
They just need to start pumping them out, dude.
The new Kirby Air Ride, the original.
Bro, when they announced that, I lost my crap because, the original was on GameCube, and like to my knowledge, I don't know if it sold that well, and like I only knew one friend that had it back in the day. It was so fun, and I can't wait to play that all over again, man.
Yep.
You can cuss on here, by the way.
Okay.
Fish has done it enough for all of us, but
Have I? Oh man.
yeah, what are you talking about?
Nah,
You've been cussing
no,
up a storm out here.
Have I? I'm just very passionate.
True, yeah. It's the
So
East
was I.
Coast in you.
That's true. I need a Wawa pretzel.
It sold 750,000 copies in the U.S. So not the best. But a lot of people
Yeah.
didn't buy GameCubes because they didn't
Yeah.
like it. It wasn't a DVD player. That was the PS2's big appeal back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I never realized GameCube didn't play DVDs, but I mean, it's not
No,
the same
yeah.
size disc.
Just piecing that one together? Or?
No, I mean, I've known it for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no Nintendo system's ever had DVD playback or Blu-ray playback.
That I actually didn't know. I thought the Wii you could play DVDs on, but
No, I mean you could get like a Netflix disc, but then like the Wii U can play DVDs or Blu-ray, so it let you.
man, the Wii U it's like the ugly stepsister of Nintendo consoles.
It had a lot of failings, but it laid the foundation for the Switch. So
That's true. That's true.
all the best games, Mario Kart 8, 50 million plus copies. It's a Wii U game, right? Breath of the Wild, Wii U game. Like all these games that people love. No one wanted to buy the system.
All right, and we can get into the interview portion of the podcast. So, Brett, I know you've already seen the questions, but we're gonna ask you some questions. So, JimTasty, it looks like you're starting us off, buddy.
Yeah, I'll lead us off. So, when did you start streaming, and like, what was the reason that kind of gave you that courage to hit that go live button?
Yeah, so I started streaming seriously in March of 2020, like right when COVID lockdown happened. Primarily because, I had nothing else to do, right? So that was kind of like my opportunity to give it a full go. What initially made you build up to it or made me build up to it? That's a pretty extensive answer. There's different like stages of just me being a video game fan and a consumer of entertainment that like led to it. I mean, you can go back to like when I made my Twitch account when Twitch Plays Pokemon was a thing back in 2014, if you remember that. Because I was like, you can interact with this game in that way. Like, that's so freaking cool. So that was initially the start. And then another big moment was when Battle Royales came out. And watching the big streamers play these games, and I was, just because of the nature of those games, it's a different dynamic every time, and so it just was so unique to see creators play that game and make content out of it. So, and then another part was when Ninja did the stream with Drake. Even though I'm not a Drake fan, I got to say that out loud. Just seeing, I think they had like 800,000 viewers or something. Like, before that, I had seen streamers with like a couple hundred or something, and seeing the scale of that, I was like, okay, this is like big time. This is like where entertainment is going, is like live streaming, and interactivity with like the community and the fans. And so that was like kind of another start. So those were probably like the 3 big milestones that got me to start doing it.
That's pretty good. I mean, you had mentioned Ninja, right? And some of these other bigger streamers, but as you started back in 2020, did you have anybody that were your big motivators, any major influencers? Now, it doesn't only have to be streamers, but was there anyone that was like, hey, you know what? That guy's doing it. I like to replicate that. Let me see if I can do it too. Is there anyone out there that you might have watched growing up or doing any of that?
Yeah, there's 2 people that come to mind. One is Snowbike Mike, as you know, Nardi.
Yep.
Of kind of funny fame. Just primarily it's his personality, because he can play anything, and just his love and passion for the community and the games
Always
just
has a good time.
bleeds through the screen, and you just want to be in that space and hang out with them. And so that's definitely an inspiration. The other inspiration, it's tough to talk about because the person kind of got canceled for doing bad stuff. I think Nardi knows who I'm talking about.
Twinkles had the same answer.
Yeah. That was also kind of an inspiration, because that person and that character was so unique in the space, and is still kind of unique in the space. And the way they were able to create like a mythology around their streaming community was definitely something unique that I haven't seen before. And like, you can't really replicate that in any other like form of entertainment. So yeah.
And Buzz, if you're not following along, that is the opposite of uneducated, respectful man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
got it.
Yeah.
Fish looks like the wheels are turning, but
Yeah.
We're here,
I think you got it.
That was tough, man, because like he
Yeah.
had so many scandals, and to be honest, some of the other stuff was like, okay, like not good, but some of that stuff was in my business, so I was like, okay. Then that last thing that came out, I was like, I can't support this guy.
Hard to come back from that one.
Yeah.
He's still active though, so it's pretty crazy that people are.
Dude, I unfollowed him from everywhere, and then like when I go to bed, I'll watch YouTube. And I woke up one time and it was like someone streaming Call of Duty. It was like a different guy, but he was playing with that person. And I was like, what the heck? Like, didn't expect to have him on my screen again, So that was weird.
Right. So during your time streaming, what game or content have you enjoyed playing the most? And do you think that if Halo had a battle royale, it would take place of that?
So with the Halo question, yes. I still don't think it's too late to make a Halo battle royale.
I don't think it is either.
The space is saturated, but I think the Halo IP, and I think how they could implement that in a battle royale, I think would still stand out. Halo's had a lot of issues the last 10 years or so. But yeah, I think the Halo battle royale would be a gold mine. They were working on one for Infinite, and then they just decided to shelve it just because Infinite doesn't have the most juice right now.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they take a lot of the stuff they thought worked or didn't work and tweak that for whenever the next game comes out. I mean, honestly, I think they should do like a Apex Legends style split. You have Halo 7 campaign, arena multiplayer, and then you have like Halo Legends or Apex, a Halo something, and it's just a BR, and you can work from there. We'll see. but to go off of that, what games and content have I enjoyed streaming the most? Kind of like what I said was an inspiration for me to start streaming was battle royales. It was a little bit before I started streaming, but I think I dabbled in it a little bit. But like PUBG, I love streaming PUBG. Fortnite is obviously fantastic, not only because it's a really solid game, but they're always changing everything every week. So
Yeah.
you load in and there's a new gun, there's a new like location to land at, there's a new skin to buy. Like there's
AI
always something
swearing Darth
fresh.
Vader.
Yeah. Jar Jar Binks now is in the game. Darth Jar Jar.
How
So
would-
that just that just keeps it fresh for me on the creator side of like, you know, I love Halo. Then they've actually done a good job of playing Halo, but there's definitely been times where I've been streaming other games and I'm like, okay, they haven't added anything. Like, how do I bring my full energy and passion for this when, you know, I'm playing this for the 1,000th time?
Right.
And then Halo, I still stream that every couple times a month, and then Call of Duty as well, just because I have a passion for that series ever since Call of Duty 4. So
You've been
That was
going
what got
through all
me
the
into
Call of
it.
Duties recently, right?
yeah, I'm still on Call of Duty 1 because that game is a little challenging because it's a little older. But I only played that game once when it came out on 360. So that one I don't have a ton of experience with, and it's been really fun to just see the origins of that franchise. You know, I mean, it's the best selling game or dang near every year still, and to see what is already in the first game, but what's not is
Right.
just it's really fascinating to see.
To see how far it's
I
come.
I totally forgot Captain Price was in Call of Duty 1. Like he's in there from the beginning, you know. So
Oh, I did not know that. That's cool.
yeah.
Zoltaski, I think you're out.
So, yep, I'm sorry, that's my up. So you talk about, you know, Call of Duty, you talk about Fortnite, you talk about all these games that you really enjoy playing on stream. Where would you say you experience the most growth?
Yeah, there's a couple different ways I could answer that. There's been a couple of times. It's hard, to be honest, it's hard to grow with like Fortnite and Call of Duty, a little less so with Halo because it's not as popular right now. Those games are so saturated because everyone and their mom wants to stream those games, right? So
Yeah.
it's just hard to find yourself, at least native discovery on Twitch. It's just hard to find yourself there. Just game wise though, I've experienced growth kind of finding like niche games that I like to play. Rest in peace to Star Wars Hunters, that like mobile game. It's kind of like Overwatch. I had a ton of fun with it,
Yeah.
to be honest.
It was fun.
And I streamed that game last year. I kind of fell off of it just because it's another battle pass that it was just hard to keep up with. But when I streamed that last summer, I had a ton of growth because at the time of it coming out on Switch, there was a huge passionate audience for that game, and because it's on mobile, like mobile gamers are crazy. So I had a ton of growth with that. And then kind of as an extension, just not game wise, but just creator side, networking side, I've had a ton of growth kind of through the Kind of Funny community. Just hanging out in the Kind of Funny chat or Snowback Mike or Andy's chats and hanging out and meeting folks that way that are also streamers or end up coming and hanging out in my space. Whenever Kind of Funny or again individually Snowback Mike or Andy do like custom creator stuff, I've met a lot of people through that too, and that's been super helpful for growth. So I found like there's always the thing about creating is like there's no one way to grow, right? So you can grow
Right.
in an infinite number of ways.
Do you have any, and arguably this is, and I said this last week too, and I will stand on this ground. It's one of my favorite questions here. Do you have any wild stories or any crazy viewers in your chat or anything that you've witnessed or experienced at all?
Oh gosh,
You don't have to
yes.
name names.
No, I won't name any names. I mean, I've been doing this long enough. I've kind of seen everything under the sun. Like, I had someone come in and make very aggressive comments, based on, my attractiveness. I'll just say that. Or they thought I was attractive. Um, I've had people catfish themselves, like lie about who they were, and then like really ingratiate themselves in the community. And then, you know, when that kind of blew up, you had to say goodbye to them because, like, it doesn't set a good precedent.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, I've had, just the nature of the business. You have people who are ride or die day ones, and then you never see them again because life is crazy, right? So it's hard to, you're competing as a streamer, you're competing with, Severance and the NBA playoffs and anything else that's going on right now, right? So there's a lot of entertainment options out there, and it's really hard to stick out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you see all sorts of people come and go when you're a streamer.
So in terms of your content, so you've said that you've played, the battle royales. I've witnessed you play, every genre pretty much that gaming has to offer. So when it comes to the games you decide to play on stream, are you motivated to play certain games over others? Is it drawn by viewership or just whatever you want to play in the moment?
That's something that's definitely evolved for me over the years. When I started streaming in 2020 during prime COVID, that was a huge boon for viewership and growth everywhere. Because so many people got into the space, but also so many people were just hanging out too and wanted something to watch or hang out, right?
Right.
And so back then I would stream dang near everything. We're minimum 4 years or something back since everything came to normal. So everything's kind of definitely regressed to like how things used to be. So in terms of like my own, I don't have as much time as obviously. And so trying to just hone in on like what I like to play, what I think has the most growth opportunities, and what also just people like to see. So right now, like it's ultimately not the best, but I think I'm happy where I'm at with it, where I have two different, all the big streamers, they usually just stream one game, right? But if I did that, I think I would lose my mind. Despite me loving Fortnite and Call of Duty and Halo, if I just played one game, 4 or 5 times a week for 5 hours, 20 hours or something, 25, like I would probably go crazy. I did that for a month with Fortnite, and I was like, at the end of that, I did this challenge. At the end of that, I was like, holy crap, like, I don't want to play Fortnite for a minute. So right now I kind of have a completing split of like different single player content that I want to do, and then also like traditional Fortnite battle royale multiplayer stuff where I can hit different like touch points of what I want to build like my community with.
Gotcha. Yeah, you see the guys like Tim the Tap Man, they do pigeonhole themselves into games. So like he played Call of Duty for forever, Overwatch before that. I feel like as a Tim viewer for a long time, he was having a lot of fun playing Rivals.
Yeah.
But then when the new Verdansk season dropped, he kind of went back to Call of Duty, and now, he's only streaming the 5 hours a day that he used to stream, because I think by the end of his Call of Duty reign, the first time, he was like done with it. So yeah. the burnout has to be real for those guys. So yeah, it's a good point. But
so talking about all this content, what is one dream piece of content that you would like to do one day, whether it be a video, a stream, anything like that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Two things come to mind immediately. I've been a part of them, and I would love to host one someday, but it's like a lot of work on the back end just from me being like a captain in some of these like things I've been involved with. But I would love to run some sort of like creator tournament or custom games. I've done a lot of them with Halo, with 50 plus people, and it's a lot of work to even be a part of it, let alone organize it. So, but it would be super fun to do because it's so fun to play Halo with other people who love Halo and then get to meet them, learn their story, and make new friends. So that's something I would love to do someday if I had the bandwidth for it. Another thing that I would like to do also is kind of like those video game essays that you see on YouTube. Like,
Yeah.
I love watching an hour-long video on why, you know, uh, Jedi Outcast is like the best Star Wars game of all time or the best video game of all time or something like that, because there is an argument for it, and so it's fun to see people talk about that, or people ranking Mario Party games, or
Summoning Salt, History of World Records.
yeah, all
Never
that
seen
stuff
them.
too. Like, yeah, I love watching that stuff. And it would be cool to do, but it's a lot of work. So it's hard to manage like that stuff with like streaming 4 to 5 times a week,
Right.
so.
I mean, it makes sense. With your content right now, right? Especially since, kind of COVID it opened up the doors to a lot more possibilities. And we see more and more people do IRL type streams, just them walking around, shopping, doing whatever. Do you have any plans on expanding your content to IRL streams or anything else that you've kind of seen out there before?
Yeah, I during the 2020 pandemic, I did live stream myself getting a Mr. Beast burger back when that was new, because like it was like just a trendy thing to do at the time.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting in my car chatting away. Yeah, again, it kind of goes back to a bandwidth issue, slash just like a branding issue too. Like, I think where my size is now with my viewership and community, it would be a little tough to like do IRL stuff. Whereas I think if you're, I mean, it kind of goes both ways. Once you get too big, you do have to pigeonhole yourself. But also, you're so big that if you do whatever, you'll still get people to tune in, right? So,
Right.
versus if you're small, if you switch up your content, you might lose everybody, but you also have probably a small dedicated base to tap into as well that will watch you do whatever. Yeah, I think with IRL, it just, would depend on like what I would want to do. It would be fun to do like game show stuff or like, trivia stuff that I've done in the past. But I'm always open to it. I never want to say no to an opportunity. We just have to see what comes up,
For sure.
I feel like actually doing like IRL when you're super big has got to be just terrifying.
Oh yeah, I've
'Cause
seen clips. Yeah, people come up
People
and do
stream
crazy
sniping
stuff.
you in real life.
Yeah, those backpacks are crazy, dude. Those live streaming
Yeah.
backpacks. I've seen them at TwitchCon and stuff. It's like they look like they're in Death Stranding. They're carrying the huge like
Yeah.
weight behind them. Like,
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine like that whole scandal that came out with Valkyrie and Emiru and all those the female streamers with the guy at the carnival or whatever.
oh yeah, that was
That's
insane.
terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh. So, this will be our last question for you. So, you've been doing this for a while now, about
Uh-huh.
you said 4 or 5, 6 years. So,
Yeah.
what would you tell someone who's just starting out what they can expect?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think ultimately first you got to ask yourself what are your goals. If you are just doing it for fun and you're just there to hang out and vibe, like awesome, go for it. I think if you go into it wanting to hit it big, you got to realize the scale of what you're going up against and the odds of that happening. And so I think if you're doing that, you have to just make sure you don't burn out and manage your energy and just make sure you don't, go crazy. Because if you look at the big content creators, going back to like Ninja and Tim the Tatman a little bit, but those guys in their primes were streaming, Shroud were streaming like 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
Because if you, with live streams, you turn off the stream, the camera, that's gone. You're not making anything or growing in that channel at all, right? So it requires a lot out of you if you want to go into it with that. So you just gotta manage expectations and try to do it in a healthy, balanced way.
Yeah, I think it's important to not like think you're gonna make it big right off the bat. Like there's a ton of people that don't grow very quickly, and then there's like one queso. But
yeah, there's no linear growth.
They only see the queso, they only see the Jinxie, they just they're like, oh, I'll be the next one. And no. That's not
you can have the best personality, the best content. You could do all the right things and still not have growth, right?
Yeah.
Like I've seen people who you're like, how do they make it big, that are massive? And then I watch people that have 15 viewers average, and they are incredible. And I'm like, how does this make sense, right? It's a little bit of luck. It's kind of like trying to win the lottery. You just have to, do your best and hope things, lay out the way you want them to.
Hope the stars align. So,
yeah, go Stars.
No, those were great answers. Great interview. Thank you for coming on again.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I'm glad we were able to finally do this.
Yeah, me too. I'm very happy. Where can people find you?
Yeah, so I'm JimTasty literally everywhere. Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I'm still on Threads. We'll see how long I'm still there. Blue Sky. And we're doing live streams 4 to 5 times a week, usually Monday through Thursday. But I'm going to sometimes I'm going to DreamHack this week, so I won't be live that same schedule. And we're uploading short form content, almost every day, and doing long form VOD stuff too. So there's always something to tune into and hang out.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, we really appreciate you coming on. You're the Nintendo guy, so I had to make sure we had Nintendo themed stuff to do today. But thank you again. It was a fun time. We'll have to have you back on.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Boys, you got anything to say to anybody?
Play all of the games we drafted. They're all good.
True.
Yeah. Man, honestly,
I'm about to go look at the Nintendo Switch store right now and maybe download a couple. So,
Just get the N64, man.
Yeah.
N64.
Selling them at GameStop like $120. All right, but we'll
talk after.
Yeah, we'll talk after. All right, well, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I always say GG. Thanks for being a gent. See ya.
Bye.
Hey, guys.